Hello everybody, this is Dale Taiwan here, and I just want to wish everybody a happy new year 2024. Today is New Year's Eve, and you know what that means. That means it is 2023, a year in review. This is going to be the final video of 2023 to recap how this entire year was for me and make 2023 end with a bang. So I just want to go over my entire year and see how it went. So as you know, last year I made my video on my 300 subscribers video, and then I capped it off with a video describing how my year was in 2022. And as you saw my last as you saw last year's recap, I suffered the worst depression of my life from that fallout I had last year, which was not a pleasant thing to have happened to me. But over time, I was able to move on and cope with, the new reality of how things have been going with me, and it's been going much better. And so this is gonna be a very long video. So it's gonna be over 10 minutes. So I'm gonna be talking about all the highlights of 2023 from January all the way to now. So just letting you know, this is gonna be a very, very long video. So if you want to watch the entire video, cool. So as I said in my last vlog, I suffered a really bad depression last year, and to this day it's still like healing for me. So over time, I was able to cope with it. So we're going to talk about, let's start from January. So from January all the way to March, not a lot of things really changed a lot in my life for me personally. I mean, my jam night has been going strong, still going strong to this day, which is phenomenal. But my depression was still on and off. But over time, I slowly got my new friends. So I met a lot of new friends, and we've been doing a lot of adventures. In early April, I believe it was April, Ariana started working at Bolton Jacks with me. Like, we're coworkers. We're coworkers. We've been working together for a couple of months now. And her and I become really close friends. You've seen her in our vlogs to Canada's One End, and yeah, we've been hanging out a lot this season, and it's been really good. And I've hung out with a lot of my coworkers at the time as well, like Kristen and Shannon and Ariana, and met a couple new ones as well. So it's been going very smooth for me. And in July of this year, my coworker Lily invited the entire Bolton Jacks crew over to her party for another Canada Day celebration, which was so much fun. Got to hang out with Ariana, got to hang out with all my friends, and it was a phenomenal time. And it was a day that I'll never forget. And I did a lot of roller coaster trips this year as well. I've ridden a lot more roller coasters now. I've now ridden 165 roller coasters now in my life. So I've ridden a lot now, because before 20, I think in 2022, I only got like maybe 10 or something new credits, but now I got even more, which is great. And yeah, it was really, really good. So my roller coaster trips that I did this year, was in May. So in May, I was planning to go to Coaster Stock again, but the tickets got sold out right away. So I didn't end up going, unfortunately, again. So as I've said in my previous vlogs, I have not been to Coaster Stock at Kings Island. I really want to go eventually, but over time, first time it didn't work out well. Second time, tickets got sold out. So I decided, okay, what other roller coaster events? So I found one at Michigan's Adventure in Muskegon, and I've never been to that park. And it's a Cedar Fair park, and of course, I have this Cedar Fair Platinum Pass. So now now the Platinum Pass is an add-on. So to your gold or this other pass they have. But anyway, I did that event in May, and I squeezed in Waldameer on the way back home. So my mom and I went to Michigan. We made a quick stop at the Motown Museum in Detroit, which was really cool. So I got some photos of that. So check it out on my other social media platforms if you're interested in checking them out. But yeah, so I did those. So my mom and I did that, and then we went to Michigan's Adventure. I did Timbers Fest, which was the Ace event there, and it was so much fun. Shivering Timbers is so good. One of the best wooden roller coasters I ever ridden in my life. Wolverine Wildcat gets so much hate in the community. I don't get it. Thunderhawk was a fun SLC. It's not as rough. It's a little headbanging, but it's tolerable. It's kind of re-rideable. It's up there with Ed Nort Laron. I did did a couple other rides. Their corkscrew is not that bad. Their Wild Mouse isn't too bad. So it was a nice park, and I don't get the hate for that park at all. I know this might be a hot take, but I kind of like Michigan's Adventure more than Dorney Park. So don't hate me in the comments, guys. So then I did Waldameer the next day, and that was way more fun. Ravine Flyer 2 is world class. It's so good. I said to Ariana this year that in the new year we gotta go. She needs to renew her passport, and we need to go to Waldameer to ride that. Like, she will love it. She loves wooden coasters, so like she loves Wild Beast and Mindbuster. So it's like, you gotta go ride Ravine Flyer 2. Like, that'll change your mind. And so yeah, Ravine Flyer 2 was so much fun. That park as a whole is great. I love Waldameer. My only problem with Waldameer was at the time their debit or credit machines were not working, so I had to use a kiosk. So to me, that was the only sour part of that park, in my opinion, because I just didn't like the kiosk thing. I don't like when they go cashless. Like, I kind of understand the purpose, but it's like COVID's kind of quote unquote over, so it's like you can use paper, you can use money again, but again, you can't change it. But that was my only problem with Waldameer. Overall, it was a good park. Nothing else to complain. Just that kiosk thing I'm not a fan of, but that's it. It didn't completely ruin my day. Their drop tower at Waldameer is probably one of the best drop towers I ever rode. I was also featured in one of the videos of this popular YouTuber. I'll put a link in the description for the video and the YouTuber, but on the top of my head, I don't know his YouTube channel name. But anyway, I was actually kind of in the background of him riding the drop tower at Waldameer, which was really cool. In July, I went to Ace Flies with the Phoenix at Knoebels, so my very first time at Knoebels, and that park is so much fun. I loved every minute of that event. Like, I got exclusive ride times on Twister. Twister's good. I really like Twister. I just think it might be a little bit overrated, just a tiny bit. I mean, it's great, but I think Phoenix is much better. I know Phoenix is very overrated and it's in the same park, but I love Phoenix because the airtime, and the airtime is really insane on Phoenix, and I absolutely love that ride. And to be honest, I think that's my favorite new credit of this year, like my favorite new roller coaster credit, along with Ravine Flyer 2 and Shivering Timbers. But anyway, so I did those. Impulse is so much fun. Their flat ride collection is so classic. Like, it's such a beautiful amusement park. You gotta go to Knoebels. It's so beautiful, breathtaking. Just so I did that, and then we were gonna my mom and I we were gonna do this other we were gonna hit this other park, but we chose this one. It was kind of last minute. We decided to hit Lakemont Park to ride the oldest roller coaster in the world, Leap the Dips, and that thing is so much fun. Like, there's no restraint on it. You just gotta brace yourself. It's so much fun. I mean, it's not crazy, but for how old that is and the safety restrictions is insane. Like, it's definitely one of the most underrated credits I got this year. Definitely number one underrated credit I've earned this entire year. But but yeah, so I did that. Didn't do a trip. Oh wait, no, never mind. Sorry. I didn't do another new park after that. But in August was the very first time I did a roller coaster trip with roller coaster friends in 2 years. So I did that, and it was so much fun. So long story short, my roller coaster buddies, uh, Cody, Steven, and Tristan, invited me to go to Six Flags Darien Lake to go to see three punk bands, and the and admission was free with your ticket. So we got to ride roller coasters and saw three punk bands in one day, which was so much fun. To me, that was the best thing of 2023 for me. That was the entire highlight, was going to Six Flags Darien Lake and hanging out with my friend Ariana at Canada's Wonderland. Like the Phoenix trip was good, but there was something about that. But I'll get to more highlights later. But so yeah, we did Six Flags Darien Lake in August. And in October, I went back to Knoebels for the Phoenix Fall Fun Fest. And I got to meet some enthusiasts. As you saw, you met Jason, you met Mike, and a couple other people, Liz. Like, yeah, it was really cool. I got to meet some new enthusiasts there. We couldn't hit another park because the other parks were closed, because some of them were closed. So I only did the Knoebels event, and that was it. And I went home and enjoyed Thanksgiving with my family because it was on the Canadian Thanksgiving long weekend. So yeah, it was so much fun. Got to do those trips. I'm going to talk about some highlights now for me. But for me, the highlight for me was going to Six Flags Darien Lake with my coaster buddies. Like I said before, it was the very first time I did a roller coaster trip with friends in 2 years. My last one was in August 2021, which was La Ronde in Montreal. That was the last time I ever did a roller coaster trip with a group of friends. But that trip to Darien Lake was just so good. It made me feel like, man, this is what friends are like, man. Like, it was so much fun. And yeah, like I said before, my first trip to Darien Lake in 2019 was not great at all. It was drama. It was just completely unnecessary crap. So this year was much, much better for my trip to Darien Lake, and it was much appreciated because I got to enjoy the park more. Tantrum is really good. Superman Ride of Steel is so intense. Viper is very underrated. Predator gets way too much hate in the community, in my opinion, but it was so good. And yeah, those are the main trips I did this year, and it was so good. Yeah. So another great thing that I really enjoyed about this year was I got to become really close friends with Wonderland Weekly, like Toronto Ty. Like, Tyler, you're a great guy, man. Keep up what you're doing. And yeah, him and I have become really good friends this year. Got to meet some other new enthusiasts as well, like Serena and Brian. And I also met Parker from Adventures with Parker. He's a cool guy. But yeah, it was so much fun to go to Wonderland and hang out with these enthusiasts. And yeah, I also got to hang out with John Brooks. Him and I become really good friends as well, along with Daniel Myers. You've seen him in a couple of my vlogs, and yeah, it was so much fun. Yeah, I got to hang out with Ariana and I have become really close friends. Like I said, we've been going to Canada's Wonderland a few times. She's been coming over to my place. We've been having a few drinks, going swimming in my pool, playing some music, and she's been coming to jam night a few times. So we've all had a really good time just hanging out and getting to know each other and just meeting a bunch of new friends. And yeah, I feel really good. Like, this year was much better. There was one sour note for me, and it was just I don't really want to get into it. It was just kind of like trauma just kind of came back into my life for some shenanigans. But again, I don't want to get into it, but that was just one complete sour note. It didn't like fully affect my year, but it made me think, like, this year could have been much better. I mean, this year was much better than last year, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it could top like what 2018 was, or maybe years prior. Because again, there was like, I love Friends, and I I don't like drama. So sometimes I always try to stay away from it. So that's what I always do. But either way, like my year this year was much, much, much better than last year. Like I said, I've been handling my mental health much better now. And like I said, I have a lot of friends to hang out with, and it feels great to go back and do these adventures. And Ariana's planning to hopefully do some trips with me and a couple of my friends in the future. So stay tuned for updates on that. And yeah, it was so much fun this year. And yeah, like I said, and another thing I want to highlight as well was this channel that you're watching hit 400 subscribers like 2 or 3 months ago. And I just want to thank you guys so much for 400 subscribers. It's crazy that it's been that long, because I started in May of 2010 and the channel's still growing. So, and I thank you guys so much for 400 subscribers. We're at over 420 now, so that's pretty good. But yeah, overall my year was much better. And yeah, I'm just trying to think if there was any other things that I missed. No, not really. Like I said, I did all these trips, and yeah, I went to these really amazing ACE events. I'm hoping to go to more ACE events next year. We'll see about Coaster Stock 2024. We'll see. But I'm hoping to do some new parks next year. Like I'm hoping to hit Holiday World in Indiana to ride the Voyage. I've heard so much about Voyage. I want to go ride it so badly. I also want to go to Busch Gardens Williamsburg to ride Alpengeist and Pantheon and all these other coasters. I haven't ridden Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion in years now, so I would love to get back. Same with Six Flags Great Adventure. Like those are parks I really want to revisit, but I would love to revisit Carowinds as well. But again, Carowinds, it was so long ago and it's so far out. But we'll see what happens. Like it's so far out south right now. But like, yeah, overall my year was fantastic. And yeah, like I said, thank you again, guys, for all the help and support. And yeah, and if any of my friends are watching, cheers to you guys. Cheers to a new year, 2024. So, all right, that about does it. I just want to thank you guys so much for everything, the likes, the comments, the subscriptions. Tell your friends. And yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Happy New Year. And be sure to, of course, rock on and ride on.